Now for the next part, now that we've got all the backgrounds in, and you should have a different background and some different colors, and try to get them to kind of alternate, that they're not all the same, some different contrasting colors. We want to do some different filters and adjustments to the image, and I'm going to show you a lot of different ways to do this. So you may want to kind of watch and write down some things, kind of figure out, and then you can play around and change with whatever you want. Now, for this part, okay, in your background, you should have been writing down what effects you did. You're going to do the same thing for your image. So on that worksheet that I'm going to give you, you need to write down the different, like you'll put top left, what different effects and filters that you use for each one of these. So please write that down and get that handed in to me. So a couple different ways you can do this. I'm going to go and make sure I went ahead and labeled top left for my images, top right. You can label them so you can find them a little bit better. So click on one of the images, and it's the image, it's not on the background. First thing I'm going to do is go up here to image and then go to adjustments. A lot of different things you can do here. Again, you're going to have to play around with it a little bit. Let's try posterize. Okay, you can see on this it kind of posterize is the image. You can change the levels. The higher you go, the less it posterizes, so the lower the number, and you can go in one at a time, or you can type in your number here. So we'll leave that at 4 and click OK. Another thing that you can do, let's go to the top right image. We can go to image and go to adjustments, and we can try the gradient map. Again, try a lot of these different things and see what you want to do. Now on this one, it goes ahead and puts an automatic gradient. Now you want colors that contrast, okay? Since these are similar, we don't want to use the same one because it kind of blends in. So we want to choose a different gradient that works and maybe shows up a little bit better. So we just have to kind of mess around with it and see what works. If you don't have a lot of different gradients in here, you can come up here to this gear, and if you come down here, there's a lot of different ones, and then you can choose one of them. Let's go special effects and go append, and what append does is just adds it to your list. Okay, so here's some extra ones down in here, and you can try some different things and see what works and what doesn't work. I'm going to go back up to the top. Let's just, we want contrasting colors. Again, you just got to kind of mess around with it and see what works best for you. So we'll just go okay with this one because we can still do some adjustments to this. Now, the other thing you can do is you can adjust and adjust. So actually, I'm going to go back to this one, and I'm going to go back to my posterize. It was on here on my history, and I'm going to make sure that I am in the top right, which is this one, and I'm going to go image adjustments, and I'm going to go threshold. What threshold does is it changes it to kind of a black and white silhouette type of image. And again, you can change this slider to see more or less, so get it to where the contrast is decent to where you can still see who your celebrity is. So we'll just keep it right in there. And then after you do that, then you can go back in again and go gradient map on top of this. And then that kind of just selects it. It doesn't select it as much. So let's try some different colors with this and see how that shows up maybe a little bit better. There, we'll try that one. Okay. So you can combine a lot of different things over the top of each one of these. Okay, some other things you can do is I'm going to go ahead and click on this bottom left one since we've done the top two. You can select just the image. So I'm going to go into my magic wand, and I'm going to click on the outside. Notice it selects everything, but we want to select this, and then we're going to go select inverse. So now it just has our image selected, and you can go up to filters. A lot of different things here to just kind of play around with it. You can do noise, and you can add noise, and you just have to kind of play around with the different things. Let's try something different here. Let's try pixelate and maybe mosaic. And you can see it kind of pixelates the image, just depends on how much you want to pixelate it. So you can kind of play around with some of those things. I want to cancel that. There are a lot of really cool, you can try some of these. This oil painting thing is kind of cool. And then you can stylize the scale and the cleanliness of the oil paint. I kind of like that one, so we'll keep that at okay. And then if I wanted to put a gradient overlay over the top of that too, go back over here to my gradient tool, and let's try to pick another kind of different colors. Let's go this one here, and maybe go over, and then it does some different, which I really don't like that. So again, you just got to kind of play around and see what you like, what you don't like. Try the different filters. Maybe after you go in with that, let's try the pixelate on top of it. Render cloud, I don't know. You just have to kind of play around, but you want to be able to see your image a little bit so you can see the different things. I just want you to try a variety of different filters so you know what is out there. I want to show you one more. So I'm going to deselect Command D. I'm going to go to my bottom right on this one. This time I want to kind of break this down into this threshold again, so I'm going to go image adjustments and then go threshold, and kind of gives me some black and white images here. And I'm going to simplify it a little bit more. Click OK, and then I'm going to enlarge this, select some different areas. Whoops, Command Z, make sure I'm on my move tool. Make sure that you're moving the whole image instead of just, and then let's say I want to just select his glasses and paint that one color, or do everything white. So maybe go to the magic wand, see what all it selects. I think that's selecting all the white. So then come in either with the brush tool. Let's try the brush. And see what color we want. Click on, we don't want red. Let's click. Let's do a yellow or a green. Let's do green. Okay, and then I could paint this all in green, so his face color is one color. You could do some different textures with that too. I'll show you another adjustment here in a minute. So let's say I would go ahead and do his everything that was white, green, and then I can go back in and select some of these other things like his glasses to make them all one color. So then I'll go back over here and then maybe go magic wand again. Oh, I gotta go Command D to deselect that. This time it's just the glasses that are selected. So pick another color. Let's go blue this time. And then we can, oh, we gotta paintbrush that. Go back to the paintbrush and then paint that in. So you can select different areas. And I do want you to do this on at least one of your images where you've selected certain areas and painted them in. Okay, because that's more kind of an Andy Warhol type of pop art image anyways. Then I'm going to deselect that. Let me go back out and show you another filter. Let's go back to this one in the top left. So I'm going to click on this. Another thing you can do is you can click on a layer and you can use this FX. This is very similar to the texture, or not texture, the text things that we did. So you can put a stroke in here and you can see it has an outline. You can do an inner shadow. You can do the satin. Try a lot of these different things also and see beveled, and I mean, you're going to just have to see what works and what doesn't. Now, you may have to kind of change the opacity on some of it. On that one, it doesn't work as much. Inner glow. Let's just try the inner glow and maybe a drop shadow or something like that. An outer glow. So you can try and mess around with some of these things. The other things you can do is paint over the top of it and change your opacity. So tons and tons and tons of different things that you can do here. Again, make sure that you use the worksheet and tell me what effects you are using for each one. Try to get some contrasting colors. Don't use the same colors in the background that you do the foreground. But the main part of this assignment is to make sure you're playing around with all these different filters and adjustment and layers adjustments. Good luck. Be creative. Don't just use the first one that you came up with.